up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I have another tile saw comparison video for you. My two favorite tile saws that are on the market right now. We have the Dewalt D24000. We also have the Dustless waterless IQ saw. Now in this video we will talk about the pros, the cons, talk about what the differences are between these two saws. Obviously we will cut some material. We will rip a long 36-inch porcelain plank. We also will cut some hard, thick slate tile. And of course, we will miter hard porcelain tile with each saw as well. We will start with the IQ saw. Pros and cons. Pros, it cuts extremely clean and quick. This saw is built extremely well. It is solid, it is built to last. The quality is top notch. This saw is extremely small and compact. The width, the length, the height, it fits in tight, small areas. Just in a quick comparison, you can obviously see the sheer size difference from the Dewalt over the IQ saw. Much larger saw, wider, longer, taller, much bigger, and of course, much messier. So this saw is small, short, compact, and it does not need water in order to cut your tile. The saw is dustless. You have a filter system here, two motors, one motor to run the blade, a second motor to run the filter system. After each use, simply spin your filter, release your tray, and empty your debris. The saw also has two amazing attachments. One attachment which is sitting on the tray right now for your miter cuts. The second attachment is for large format tile or large format solid surface such as your quartz. And lastly, this IQ saw is extremely simple and easy to move from point A to point B, to pack, unpack, load, unload. I'll quickly show you right now. Now we went over the pros, now let's talk about the cons. There are two cons in my opinion about this saw. One being the price. This saw runs $1,800. It is a premium saw. It is a well-built saw, very good quality materials. It is built to last, so you're going to pay a premium price for something like this. So one, the cost. Two, it would have to be your miter capabilities. The only way to miter is to use this miter attachment. This thing does take some getting used to, but it is not as quick, simple, and easy as a tilt on the motor like the Dewalt here. Moving on to the Dewalt. Pros and cons. This Dewalt has a lot of pros. It is one of the most reliable tile saws on the market, hence why it's the most popular and best-selling. Strong 15 amp motor. It sits very high. Beautiful tray. This tray does have more slop and play than the IQ, but it still cuts very, very straight. Now keep in mind the cutting capacity is the same on both of these saws. Diagonal up to 18 inches, ripping up to 24 inches. But I will show you guys how to easily rip a 36-inch plank on both of these saws without that extension table. So some of the other pros, you have your plunge option here, as well as your tilt miter option. You can tilt it at 22.5 and 45 degree for miter cuts. You have some amazing water containment for a wet saw. The Dewalt is the cleanest and least messy saw of them all. I have not come across a wet tile saw that contains water as good as this Dewalt. It's simply amazing, but you still will make a mess below the saw and behind the saw after a full day of use. That's where this saw speeds up time. You don't have to set up protection for the water. You plug it in, you start making your cuts, and you install. More pros, fantastic pump, smooth rail system. This is a great saw. Now the cons, only a couple of cons for the Dewalt. One being, it is massive. It is a very, very large tile saw in comparison to something like this. It's difficult to stick inside a house, stick indoors, set up indoors. It's big, it's a bit messy. The second con, it is difficult to break down and set up. It is large, it is awkward, it is hard for one guy to pick this saw up and move it from point A to point B. You have to set the stand up. After you set the stand up, you have to set this tray on top of the stand. After you set the tray on top of the stand, you then have to set the tile saw on top of the tray. So it is a 3-step process. It takes time, it's awkward, it's heavy, and it takes up a lot of space. So those are the simple pros and cons of my 2 favorite saws on the market right now. Let's get right to it, make some cuts. Again, 36-inch porcelain plank. We will cut some slate. We will also miter cut hard porcelain right here. And we will compare quality of cuts, speed of cuts, and accuracy of a long 36-inch rip. Here we go, guys. We will start with the IQ saw, ripping accuracy up to 36 inches. Now, a quick tip on how to rip more than 24 inches. A piece of scrap foam board and a speed square. Just like that. A very clean cut. I've got to tell you right now, we're going to be splitting hairs on the cleanliness and quality of the cut. They both cut about the same. Let's check for accuracy. 6 7/8. Exactly 6 7/8 on the other side. Absolutely accurate, not off at all on a 36-inch rip. Let's try the Dewalt. Again, 1/2-inch foam board to raise the height on the table in order to assist you in cutting more than 24 inches in length. Again, very clean cut, just as clean as the IQ. Now keep in mind, these are newer tile saws with fairly new tile saw blades. Let's check the accuracy of this 36-inch rip from the Dewalt. 7 1/8. 7 1/8 as well. Very accurate on a 36-inch rip, both the IQ and the Dewalt. We move on to slate, 5/8 of an inch thick. Here we go. Very clean cut, and I'm going to show you right now, there is no muddy water mess from cutting stone such as the slate like we'll get on that Dewalt over there. Well, that's one plus of the IQ. If you're cutting stone such as slate, even ceramic, even porcelain, you don't have a watery, muddy mess from the material, along with a nice clean cut. Let's move on to the Dewalt. Cuts clean. One thing I want to point out, we recently completed a slate project, exterior staircase over 400 square feet. The IQ saw is what we used. No mess, no fuss. If we used a wet tile saw, we would have had dirty, muddy water all over the place. It would have taken a lot more time to set up, a lot more time to clean up, a lot more time to wipe everything down. So you save a lot of time with the IQ saw, but it is much more expensive. You have to outweigh the pros and the cons. Let's miter cut hard porcelain. Here we go. Installing the miter attachment for the IQ is very simple, but this takes some getting used to. It includes 2 clamps, but you can quickly learn how to freehand it and miter without the clamps. Let me show you. And there you go. A quick and easy miter cut, but it does take some getting used to. It is a bit easier and quicker to miter with the Dewalt. Let's show you. A quick tilt and you're good to go. Just like that. That's one benefit the Dewalt has over the IQ saw. Well, there it is, folks. My 2 favorite tile saws, why I like them, the pros, the cons. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. As usual, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and most importantly, share this video if you know anybody who might find it useful, and I'll see you on the next one.